There we go. Sabotage. So, this is my third time here in a row, and I'm still reigning SU Jedi because, in fact, there hasn't been another contest anymore, so I'm still it. So to get started, because my time is a little bit limited to 50 minutes, I guess. For people who don't know me yet, my name is Dieter Wijkmans. I know it's very hard to pronounce for someone who's not from Belgium or the Netherlands. So anything of IT Rambo, SU Jedi, or just Dieter, or try to pronounce my last name is fine. I've put my best picture on there. I mean, it was a very brilliant moment, that picture, so I put it on there. My email address is on there as well, my Twitter handle as well. I'm a huge fan of Twitter, so please feel free to connect. I'm not that good on hiding online, so you can always reach out and find me. If you have questions during this session, or when you see the recording afterwards, just reach out. I will try to answer within a time frame of 3 to 5 a.m., because that's my time slot when I answer questions. So. I've put my other hobby on there as well. It's my small spaceship. It's a Beetlebug 1972, which I'm trying to keep on the road. I'm actually not monitoring that with Ops Manager or OMS, but I'm thinking about it. So I'm a CDM MVP since 2014. I keep that on there. Now it's not impressive, but who knows? In a couple of years it will become impressive. So I'm a board member of the System Center User Group Belgium, where we try to do the same things as we do here today, not in a big scale like this, but still we have a lot of blog content on our scug.be/Dieter. So there I actually also document the entire journey I have through the System Center universe, and recently also through the OMS sphere. People who have seen one of my sessions, they always come back to, why do you put that motto on? Well, as long as that motto is on, there are still people actually making errors to my motto, which is don't overthink, it's doing common things uncommonly well that bring success. A lot of people are focusing on the big things instead of forgetting the small things, and the small things, in my opinion, is where you can actually gain a lot of success or gain a lot of interest in the projects, and then the other things will follow. So the agenda for today. We're going to talk about OMS. No. Who has OMS in their environment at this point? Awesome. So who knows OMS? Who want to learn about OMS? Awesome. So the agenda for today is very simple. There are 3 OMS-focused sessions this SCU. First of all, it's mine. And then we have a session of Jeremy, who's going to explain also where we're going with OMS. And last but not least, Cameron is also going to do some OMS stuff. So those 3 sessions, if you want to learn about OMS, please make sure to attend those sessions. But the agenda for this session is I'm going to get the story straight. So I'm going to give a quick overview of what OMS actually is and where we are today. We're going to change your thinking. I know it's a SU Jedi thing, mindset. These are not the OMS things you're looking for, but I'm going to try. You are in control, and last but not least, get the right approach. If you go in with your approach of Ops Manager, you will not have the full value of OMS, so you need to have the right approach to get in. So first of all, we're going to get the story straight. And this part of the presentation actually is based on a lot of questions I get from a lot of people who reach out online during events or just when I'm at the customer site. Because a lot of people, these are basically the 3 top questions I get. OMS is SCOM in the cloud, right? Replacing SCOM, and I should be scared. Well, nope, you don't need to be scared. First of all, SCOM is not, OMS is not SCOM in the cloud. There's a lot of work to be done to actually evangelize people, and I'm telling it every time I'm doing a session about OMS, that OMS is not replacing SCOM in the cloud, because you can actually run SCOM in the cloud on an Azure data center, but OMS is much more. OMS is not only a monitoring tool, it's also giving you a lot of insights and different approaches. And it's able to connect a lot of streams which are coming in and giving you new insights. Ops Manager can do that as well, but OMS is like there for the taking, so why should you actually try to get it into Ops Manager while you can use the OMS and use the better together strategy? OMS is replacing SCOM? Nope. In some ways, it can be an alternative for SCOM, but there's no way on earth on this particular moment that I would suggest that you just get rid of SCOM and use OMS instead. And OMS is something I should be scared of? Well, we are all scared of new things, it's human, but it's up to us to actually embrace the new thing and start working with OMS. I'm going to give you an approach, I'm going to give you a phased approach where you can actually start working with OMS without being completely overwhelmed by everything which is possible and just back out. So are we excited? Not yet, but we're getting there. So this slide is very important because this is basically a question I get all the time. Should I use SCOM or should I use OMS for that? Well, it's not a question or, it's a question and. You can actually connect Ops Manager and SCOM both to create your insights, and then you get IT Rambo with a lightsaber. I mean, who doesn't want IT Rambo with a lightsaber? I mean, imagine Rambo and then the lightsaber. I mean, those are two movies combined, two of my favorite movies, but if you go to your manager and say, hey, Ops Manager and OMS will be IT Rambo with a lightsaber, he will probably look at you and go like, what? But we know what it means, so. OMS itself is growing fast, and it's growing so fast it's mind-boggling. There are solutions added every single week, sometimes days. They are changed, they're working on the solutions constantly. And it's not like with Ops Manager, with management packs, that there are release cycles. Because in fact, because Microsoft or another partner owns the solution, they can actually change the solution and it will be changed for everyone right at the spot. So you don't have to decide whether you want to have the update of the solution. The solution will be pushed and you will get all the benefits right out of the box. There are preview features, so if you have an OMS workspace, and I have a sandbox workspace because it's free workspace, by the way, you just open a workspace and you can have up to, I think, 500 megabytes a day with a retention of 7 days. So you can play around whatever you want, and it's not limited to one, so you can have a lot of workspaces. So I have a lot of workspaces where I try things, and if they're not working, I'm just closing the workspace and doing another thing. So the preview features, it's always cool to have one workspace with your personal or your production data in there, and then another one with all the preview features, just your playground. I love playing in OMS, and I hope you are going to play in OMS as well. There is, of course, also the Microsoft Connect where you can vote for features. Fill in the surveys, because if you fill in the surveys, you will actually get into the previews. So you will actually contribute in getting OMS to where you want to go, and you will get the preview to see actually what's going on. And this was mind-boggling because 300 experiments a day, 300, are done on the OMS system alone. They don't make it all into the production version, but still some go away. And it's mind-boggling. Sometimes, and every time I'm working with OMS, I see something new and I go like, was this there the last time? And the next time I come in, it's changed. So it's very flexible. So if you open your OMS workspace and you're not working for it with like a couple of weeks, it's always something new. So it's quite exciting. It's like Christmas is coming every week, I mean, for me. So that's what OMS actually really is about, and I wanted to stress out. Does that make sense to you, that OMS is not Ops Manager? That's something I really wanted to stress, because that's the mindset you need to move forward and change your thinking. If you are willing to change your thinking, I mean, I would never be the stormtrooper who has the apple on his head, because, well, if he aims to the apple, he will miss and he will probably shoot something else. I hope he will miss to the left or the right and not to the bottom, because that will be chaos. But you need to change your thinking. Let's see. We have OMS and we have the big scary cloud. So how are we gonna get our things and our insights into this huge box, which is called OMS. I'm not gonna talk about how we got here, because there's a huge way that we traveled to get to this thing, but now OMS is operational and we can use it. So what data is coming in? First of all, our System Center Operations Manager. We can just connect our management group into your OMS workspace and get all the service by just clicking one and say, hey, I want this, send over, and get it up to the OMS workspace. We can use the Linux ones as well. You just have to install an agent, and it's sending the data to your environment. So we are already crossing one bridge. We have Windows servers, and we have our Linux service. So we already have a view which is cross-environment, so not Windows, limited to Windows or Linux servers. We have a view across all the environments. We can get our Windows servers in there as well, directly connected. So even if you have a server which is not in, let's say, Operations Manager, but you want to monitor it, let's say your DMZ server, for example, instead of creating a gateway server to get data in and then send it to OMS, you can directly send it to OMS. So I have customers who are actually using this technology to monitor their DMZ servers completely separate from Operations Manager, because it's sometimes a little bit different or a little bit challenging to open firewalls and whatsoever to get data in, but when the servers are already out, why don't we send the data right away to OMS and then find a way to get data back in, which I'm going to show you later on as well. And of course, all the machines which are running in Microsoft Azure, all your Azure machines, they are directly connected when you just say, hey, I want this server in Ops Insights. It's done. The agent is installed, everything is done for you, and it will pop in right away into Ops Insights or Operations Manager, OMS. So these are the 4 things to get data in. So if data is in, yeah, I'm rushing through the slides because I want to show you guys the cool stuff. So if data is in, you can use it, or Microsoft is using it to give you visualization, to give you scenario logic, and to give you a data store. So your data is all in there. And with the visualization, we're going to try to use solutions to give you the insights out of the box, like the management packs. It's not a comparison to management packs, but it's the management packs you download. You can compare with solutions, and the management packs you create yourself. They're the custom solutions, or they're the search queries. You have scenario logic, and you have a data store. And this is used to give you, first of all, the solutions, and second of all, it will give you the search queries. Again, a solution is an out-of-the-box solution which you can install or add to your OMS workspace, and it will actually give you the insights you need, and you can ask whether someone will change it through to connect or whatsoever, or vote. But this is a solution that Microsoft is providing for you. The search query, you can actually remember the scenario I gave you with the Microsoft Windows servers and the Linux servers. You can actually combine data from those two and get your own insights. Pretty cool if you ask me, but it's up to you to actually change the thinking and to define what you want to see actually. So next, and this is something I really want to stress out, you are in control. Microsoft is giving you the tools with OMS. You have your state-of-the-art Ops Manager environment. I come across them every day. They're all state-of-the-art. So sometimes I think, why am I still in a job, but still? But you are in control. It's up to you to actually take this to the next step. To use the solutions is a good start, but it's up to you to go to the next step, which is the search queries. So if you are looking into the solutions, there are a couple of categories. Microsoft made it very easy. So you have 4 categories where you can actually look at them. First of all, you have the log analytics, and that you collect, correlate, and act on log data. Log data is coming in, and these scenarios are actually looking at the logs and seeing what's going on. Second one, IT automation. OMS is not only about monitoring or creating insights, it's also giving you a view on all your IT automation in Azure automation and whatsoever. So it's becoming your single glass of pane for everything. We have at this point IT automation, so you can check whether the runbook has run, whether it has failed, how many runbooks are in there. You have security and compliance. Whoever used the best practice analyzer of Microsoft? Who liked it? I see no hands. Do I see hands out there? Nope, no hands. So Microsoft actually took this and said, well, we are going to keep the best practices on our... Oops. We are going... Yeah. Oops, I said something NDA. Can you use the podium mic for a second while we fix that? Yeah. Oh, look, it's fixed again. Want to switch or continue like this? Keep going. Thank you. So the security and compliance. Okay. So the security and compliance category, you have assessments, a SQL assessment and an AD assessment. And when I run it at a customer side, it's always funny because they say our Active Directory is state-of-the-art, everything is state-of-the-art, everything is configured because we had consultants in here, blah, 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 you know how it goes. And then I run the AD solution, and then it comes up that replication has an error, or that there's no backup of AD. And I go like, what? This can't be wrong, this can't be right. And they go in, and they find that there is no backup for AD. So those are the best practices that Microsoft is keeping on their side, and they're using the data which is coming into OMS to see whether you actually are working according to best practices. Backup and recovery, it's tapping into Azure Backup, so you can actually see whether backups are working and whether everything is up to spec. So this is a view of solutions. I actually took that print screen, I think, a couple of weeks ago, and now at least 3 or 4 are already added. So I'm not bothering of getting this every time when I'm doing a presentation because it's going to change. If you open the website now, it's going to change. So, but you see here, for example, the backup solution already. You see, yeah, it's working. The backup, AD assessment, and they're all icons. So AD assessment, SQL assessment, configuration assessment. So icons tell which category they're actually in. So the assessment is to make sure that you have the best practices. You have the Azure Site Recovery, so the backup is more like a cloud thing. And then you have other icons as well. Don't know whether it's consistent, but I always tell clients, if you're looking for an assessment, it's the thick thing. And if you're looking for backup, it's the cloud thing, but they can read as well. So implementing solutions. Do I need to do something special, or do I need to have something in there? Nope. You actually just need to get your data into OMS workspace and start working. You just say, hey, I want this solution, and Microsoft will actually gather the data and will give you the solution, the things that are most important. It can take some time because aggregation needs to be done, but still after the aggregation you will get the solution. Solutions are provided out of the box. So you have a solution catalog where you can just say, hey, I want this solution. It's not that they charge you for the solution, but it can have an impact on your data usage. So make sure that you evaluate solutions before you start happy clicking all the solutions. Remember Christmas? I did it once and my 500 megabytes was gone in 3 minutes. So I don't know whether that's a world record, but if you start uploading your security logs, it can go pretty fast. Installation, like I said, it's straight from the OMS website. More are added on a regular basis and data will be populated automatically. Do I need solutions? Well, that's a trick question. Because you can use OMS without solutions. If you're really fancy with the search query, you can actually use it, but you will lose a lot of added value out of the box. It's like using or setting up Ops Manager and then just using it for one custom monitor for one application. It's possible, but you lose the entire purpose of the tool. You will lose a lot of functionality. So you need solutions, in my opinion. They give you the insights, they give you a description of what's going on, and they're constantly developed and tuned by Microsoft. At this point, there are only Microsoft-oriented solutions in the gallery, but that's going to change, of course, because partners are going to jump in and they're going to create solutions to actually give you the insights to their applications as well. And that's going to happen in the near future. But so you have data in Ops Manager and you have data in OMS. Remember the case where you have the DMZ servers, which are only connecting to your OMS workspace, and you have your Operations Manager environment. Well, the guys have squared up. If you have the product, you can always test drive that as well. Now created a squared up OMS plugin, which I'm going to showcase in just a bit, that can actually combine those two forces. So even if you have directly connected agents, which are sending to OMS, and you have your Operations Manager environment, you can still bridge that one by just using one tool. And it's not only them, there are others which are actually developing this. So it's all about bridging data into one special environment. So I'm just going to switch over to my demo environment for a sec. Let's see, VGA. Just hope I'm doing this right. R2D2 is still on there. Let's see. It was one, right?
The one with the white tape.
Yeah, I'm pushing it, but nothing happens. Maybe I need to. Oh, now it's okay. Cool. Just gonna see. It's that picture again. So let's see. This is my OMS environment. I'm just going to show you the solution gallery. Again, if you want to play with OMS, just open a free workspace with a Microsoft ID or a Microsoft account and start working with it. You don't need to connect your Operations Manager environment right away. You can just install some machines and just directly connect them, or you can actually use some Azure machines and then just play around. As long as you have some data in here, you can start playing. Of course, if you have a SQL server in there, you can use the SQL assessment tool. If you don't have a SQL server in there, the SQL assessment tool will not find any data relatively. So if you check here, you will see as well that there are solutions coming soon. So that's just a telltale that they're constantly working on new solutions. And you just select the solution here, you get like a cool overview page. This is for the Service Hub. So if you have a Service Hub in your environment, you can monitor them as well. Does anybody has a Service Hub? Okay, I see no hands. I see no hands out there as well, but they're out there. So you can use the Service Hub as well. Just gonna go back to my environment. The Wi-Fi is a bit slow here. I'm just going to showcase you how you can actually create the both sides. I need to do a refresh. And it's refreshing as we speak. So this is a standard squared up dashboard. It's a capacity usage dashboard. It's also a dashboard I created during the community dashboard thing. If you have the product, or if you're test driving the product, make sure that you tap into the community dashboards, because there are a lot of dashboards in there. And this is basically giving me the capacity of my on-site servers. So top CPU, so this is all in Ops Manager, but I can add a column here, and I can actually see which servers are sending the most events and the most performance to my environment. And this is all in one pane. So this is creating the bridge between OMS and Ops Manager. I know I'm going a little bit fast, but I only have like 10, 12 minutes left, so feel free to actually reach out to those guys because they are here with the booth as well. And I'm just gonna switch back to my OMS environment for a sec. Oops, looks like couldn't get data. It's all recorded, so that's fine. So I'm just gonna do a reset. If OMS is down at this point, I think that's the end of the session and we can probably have some Q&A or something, but it's coming up, so. So these are all the solutions. I'm not gonna go in detail because I can spend almost an hour in the solutions, but I'm coming back later on to the solutions just to show you actually what scenarios you can build. But again, you can have multiple workspaces. You just go to your workspace here and you say, change my workspace as soon as it's working. So change my workspace, and you can actually change your workspace. And if you want to see what data you want to get in, you just go to your environment and say connected sources and get data in. There's actually an ebook which came out now. I think it's 40 pages or something to get you started with OMS right away. If you search for the OMS Get Started ebook, I'll probably put it on Twitter as well. It's free. So that's one of the things I would definitely recommend if you want to start with OMS on your own pace, because it's giving you all the steps to start working with it. So let's get back to my environment, or to my surface for a sec. So that's this one. Okay, there's R2D2 again. So that was basically the first part of the session. I see everybody's still awake, so I'm just doing a good job, I think. I see some people sleeping at home. That's probably caused to the time difference, but. So you have the solutions, you have everything, and now you are going to create your own insights. And your own insight is created by using the search query. That's your force in your own environment, which can unleash everything and give you all the insights you need. So I can't stress this enough. Start with the solutions, and when you're happy with the solutions, go look for the search query, because there's where the magic really is happening. It's like a big box of Legos, and it's up to you with the search query to actually select all the Lego blocks and start building your own Death Star. Blow it up afterwards, just start building again. It's pretty cool. So the search query, this is the question I get the most. Is it very hard to master? Well, no. It's just common sense. You need to have a certain set of skills or a certain set of building blocks, and then you can start building your own search queries. And if you, at one point, can't figure it out, you just go on the website or on the community page, or you just send me a tweet, or you just keep looking, and you will find it anyway. So it's also an auto-filling the tool. It has a history, so if at one point you mess up a search query, you can always find the other one, and you can find you can create a search query and then extend that search query to get other insights. So it's based on your insights, and you can actually save the popular ones to have them run at a regular interval. Jeremy or Cameron is going to show that later on. But there are cool scenarios when you have the search queries. And you can create your own search queries with like the lightsaber. You see it's all red one, so I'm for the dark side, like Darth Vader. So the right OMS workspace, it's on the fly, and you can schedule them to generate any notifications examples right in the workspace. So I'm going to talk briefly about the right approach, and then I'm going to dig into my OMS environment and get all the cool stuff, or show you some scenarios which you can do with OMS and the search queries, so the combination. First of all, the right approach. This was actually put in my session last minute because I got a lot of questions about multi-homing. If you want to separate data between different workspaces, you can actually do that, but you need to multi-home an agent to different management groups. There will be changes in this field, but if you set up this, you can actually limit people to only see, for example, SQL, or only see security data or whatsoever. So this is your multi-homing. There's a blog post out there as well about multi-homing specifically. The thing is, you can connect an agent to a management group, and you can connect an agent to your OMS workspace, but in fact, you can't connect or management server, an agent through your operations manager and then again to another management group, so OMS workspace. So this is the question that all starts with everything I do for the community and whatsoever. It's what if? What if I take this and I combine this and I build this and then it starts growing and before I know it, it's 3 a.m. and I probably have to stop because I have to get up to go work to the next day. So the scenarios is what if? That's the question every time you start, and you look for common scenarios to start. Don't go try to tackle these scenarios which are like pretty cool, but start with small ones and then combine those scenarios to create bigger scenarios and then just work from there your way up. That's what I always do, because if you start working with the big scenarios, you will actually just come to a grinding stop and you will lose motivation to actually use the product. So always start with the small scenarios and then go bigger and bigger. You can create your own insights and completely step away from component monitoring. Even if you are in operations manager, I can't stress this enough, step away from component monitoring, because the big gain is in fact connecting all the components to a business service to get the insights. So I'm just gonna switch back to my environment here, and I'm gonna show you something which is really baffling most of the time, the guys which are doing the SCCM thing. And one of the scenarios that I wanna show you is in fact, the first scenario I'm gonna show you is the update assessment tool. So this is gathering all the servers which are missing updates, and if I tell an SCCM guy, he will go like, I knew that. I see it in SCCM as well. But then my next question is, but do you actually know how long it takes to actually get these updates installed? No, but we have an install window of 1 hour. Cool. But what if it takes 2 minutes to actually install these updates? Yeah, well, we have a window of 1 hour, not an issue. Well, the funny thing is, Microsoft is getting all this data back from all the servers which are connected to your environment, but not only your environment, but all the other workspaces out there. So as soon as the white page of death is gone, I can actually show you how long it will take. I'm just going to do a refresh here. It's all about internet connectivity, I guess. Or the demo gods, that's possible as well. We are getting something. Is that the one I need? Nope, that's not the one I need. I'm just gonna go back for a sec. System update assessment. It's so hypnotizing, those things. Sometimes I fall asleep by just looking at them. Just gonna do a refresh one more time. And then we get a web page is not available. The demo gods are really, I should use the force more often. Just gonna see whether I have another one here. I'm probably just gonna sign in again. But what I'm actually gonna show you is that Microsoft is gathering all the install times of all the different things, anonymous of course, and they're gonna give you an average of how long it will actually take to install a certain patch. But not only that certain patch, but all the patches that that machine is missing. So if I'm just gonna go back to my update assessment, it's still here, so OMS is still working. That's pretty cool. I'm just hoping that this will come on now. That's the thing with live demos, of course. If the internet connection is a little bit slow, you will have to keep talking. So I can tell you what the weather in Belgium is, but that's not relevant for the people who are in Belgium at this point. So this is what I want to show you. So my machines are missing 13, or they are missing at this point 55 different patches. Now these are not my production machines because they are managed by SCCM, but these 55 patches or updates take only 13 minutes to install by average. So the 1 hour patch window can be reduced to, let's say, 15 minutes. So you can patch more, and you can even exclude patches that can take a long time, and then only include the patches that take less time to get them all in a smaller window. If you look at the results, and that's something I found out, you see here that it's the install time prediction seconds and the deviation seconds. So I think it's very small, but still this one will take 15 seconds, and in general it will take 0.3 more or less. So it's very accurate that you can actually see your patch windows, and you can make this, or you can use this to actually get a clear view on your patch installations. Jeremy is going to show you a little bit more about this, but the last thing I want to show you, because my time is getting I'm slightly running out of time, is the search query. For those who have been at MMS, they know that I'm monitoring my electricity consumption at home with Ops Manager and OMS. And it's always cool to actually see what's the highest peak and what's the lowest peak. So I can actually search all the data which I'm pumping into OMS and see what's the high and the low. And that can be done by a search query, of course. So if I go to the PC which is actually sending the data, I'm always going here. Then I get a full list of everything which is uploaded. And at this point, it's app 1 which is sending the data. So I'm just quickly going to show you. App 1 is sending all the data, so I get all the metrics, and it's sending electricity. So if I go here, let's see, established electricity, I'm looking for it. It might well be here. I'm just going to go to my dashboard, and I can show you here later on. So this is my dashboard, electricity consumption. And here I have all my electricity consumption. So if I want to have, for example, all the electricity consumption, here is a counter value, which is 537. So this is the search query. So if I say at the end, I want counter value, which is higher than, let's say, whoops, it's thinking again, then 2000. Maybe I should use quotes. It's thinking, but now I get all the results of plus 2000. So I can use this to actually create on the dashboard the view of how many times I had an energy consumption of during the last day of plus 2000. I recreated it here, so I'm just going to go back to because he's still thinking. And if I go to my dashboard here, I can actually, if my dashboard is opening, I can actually see how many instances I had above 3000, and at this point it's 63. So if I click it, I also get like the search query, so I get all the 63 results, and I can actually move forward on those 63 results as well and create more insights. So if I say here, plus 4000, plus 5000, or the top 10 or whatsoever. So this is the search query language you should actually learn, and all the values are there for you to create the insights. So you're not limited to only one set of Windows servers or one counter. As long as the counter is in your OMS workspace, it's working. So that's a small scenario and a small search query. I can give like 4 sessions in a row about search queries, but I just want to stress, start small, and it's also helping you. If you go to your search query window here, and that's the last thing I'm going to show you, you already get a lot of search queries where you can start from and then build from those. There are some search queries like devices with signatures out of date, and then you can limit those devices to only Windows servers or whatsoever. Pretty cool if you ask me. Let's see, I get back to my slide deck to wrap up. So that was my demo. So the key takeaways for this session, and I hope that they will stick, is did we find the ultimate monitoring combo? So did we find the ultimate monitoring combo? I see some hands, but not many, or no hands, so there's still work to do. It's up to you to actually create the insights, because Microsoft can give you the tools, but you have the insights in your environment to actually go forward and create those insights. SCOM and OMS are complementary to and not replacing each other. For some cases, you can use either both, but the real control is in getting both combined and actually working together with both Ops Manager and OMS. And OMS is more than monitoring alone, because you can easily create, it's very hard to create a SQL report. For me, it's very hard to create a SQL report, but here with just one search query, you can get that SQL report, and you can just get it on your phone, because there are web apps. You can get it through anyone, as long as they have access to your OMS workspace. So you can create those insights out of the box. And Jeremy and Cameron are also going to give you another scenarios or more scenarios and where we're going. And it's pretty cool stuff, if you ask me so. And last but not least, community is growing fast. So feel free to ask questions, tap in. And if you found something cool, it's always nice to put it on a blog or on a forum or whatsoever to help other people. Because when I started, I was lost as well. And I'm still lost from time to time, but there are always people helping me out, and I help them out as well, so it's always nice to engage. And I think that wraps up my session. It's pretty in time, so I caught up the time. So I thank you very much for attending. And again, if you have questions, my Twitter handle is on there. My email is on the first slide, so if you rewatch this session, please feel free to connect if you have questions more in depth. And for the people here in Dallas and at the simulcast, make sure to watch or tune in to Jeremy Winters and to Cameron Fuller's session, because they will be epic as well. So without that, thank you for watching, and see you next time.